Yo, hello everybody out there on YouTube. This is your man Shadicstick, and I'm back. Once again, I'm here dropping some hot farraga on the mic. This time we're talking about, Sonic Mania. And this is something I've been contemplating talking about, because I'm seeing more and more negative stuff being talked about the game, and I felt like this is kind of a video that should address certain things that I believe why people will give the game bad rep, or why people will dislike Sonic Mania, or just why the game will get just hate in general. So let's get right into that young video.
Whipping all this double bitted chopper. We fuck all you bitches at the trap house. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. They don't mean that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trap house.
Alright, so number one on this list is the rehash argument. Now, a lot of people are using the argument that this game is basically a rehash of the classics. Now, one thing we do know is that we're getting reimagined classic stages in the game. On top of that, the game uses, the old classic art style turned into a new form. Basically, what Sonic Team and Christian Whitehead's team did is basically they took the old game, they made it super delicious and pretty looking, basically upped it to at least the visual standards of today, and the animations and everything looks amazing, especially Studiopolis Zone. Now, one thing people are saying is, oh, it's just classic Sonic. Well, we've also gotten the drop spin, and that adds quite a bit of diversity to Sonic, but I hope the other two characters get it. If they don't, oh well, so what, whatever. At the end of the day though, they're like, it's a classic game, all classic games are the same. It's just that they're not, each game adds a little bit to the next. But one thing people are saying is, oh, because we're getting old stages, it's a rehash. We are getting reimagined stages. Now, what a lot of people aren't really saying about said reimagined stages, they aren't saying, oh, it's new level design within these stages. People are assuming that they're just going to be completely the same, or there's not going to be any kind of difference. Well, what we saw with Green Hill Zone is there's going to be a lot of variance. Now, the thing with Green Hill Zone is they don't want to touch that too much. They want to show that, hey, this is the Green Hill Zone you love, but it's better. That's one thing people are forgetting. Like, the reimagined stages, for the most part, they're all gonna be different. They're all gonna be, at least to some degree, different, to where you want to replay through the stages multiple times. Like I said before, Green Hill Zone Act 1 alone for Sonic Mania is a bunch of new parts and rearranged parts from the first, second, and third acts. You know what I mean? It's a different stage completely. If they're already combining the first and second stage with new elements for that first act alone, we can assume that these next acts after it are going to be entirely different. On top of that, we're getting revamped boss fight that play differently than the old ones. The original Green Hill Zone, you kind of just jump, attack, Eggman, jump, but this boss is all over the place. It takes the fight and flips it on its head. It's like, hey, this is different. This is a different boss fight. It's harder. There's something new to be added here. It's showing that they have already built upon the old game. On top of this, we are still getting new stages. Like I said, Studiopolis Zone is a great example. Now, we do know there's going to be more reimagined than there are going to be new stages. That's one thing that could bother a lot of people, but I feel like it's going to be more of a 60-40 situation, where we get 60% imagined and about 40% new stages. On top of that, we have gotten confirmation that'll belong in the Sonic Generations. The Sonic Generations as a whole is about 5.5 hours. If you're not skipping any, that's if you're not skipping any cutscenes, you're going through the game for the very first time. You know what I mean? The thing that adds on to this, are there just going to be a lot more stages, or they're going to do some kind of thing like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, add the cutscenes in there and more stages. That kind of opens up different ideas for Sonic Team and Christian Whitehead's team. The second thing is, it's Sonic's infamy. Sonic is infamous, at this point, for having bad games, even though there really hasn't been any truly bad games in the past few years, except for Sonic Boom Rise and Lyric. Sonic games are infamous for being bad. They just are. People will hate them, and people will never play the Sonic game. I remember I went to school one time. Homeboy was like, "What are you playing?" I was like, "I'm playing Sonic." You know, I was playing it on my phone. He's like, "Oh, Sonic games suck. They're so terrible." And I was just like, "Oh, what Sonic games have you played?" You know, maybe thinking he's played like 06 or something like that, thinking, "Oh, they're bad," or heard about Sonic Boom Rise and Lyric. He's like, "Oh no, I've never played a Sonic game." Like, think about that. People who have never played a Sonic game or just assume Sonic games are bad, and this is mostly due to the press, saying, "Oh, every single Sonic game on the planet is bad." IGN's Game Scoop saying, "Oh, there has never been a good Sonic game." There are a lot of examples on why this game will just get flack, and this isn't a Sonic community thing. This is mostly a just gaming community thing as a whole. People will just hate on the game just because it's Sonic. Sonic has that notoriety for being a bad series. Alright, and the last thing I have to say, which is, number 3 on this list, is that, Sonic's fan base, like I, mentioned in the Sonic, community video, you can, check that out. I'll have a card, at the top saying that if you're on mobile, you can tap the card, you can tap the little I button, and, you can check through the videos I put in here, and, you can click on the video. But, excuse me. But, since, our fan base is so divided on, classics, I just got in an argument with a guy, he was just like, "Oh, I don't want to pay this amount for, the same game." I'm just like, it's not the same game. No matter what you think about it, it's not the same game. It's not any of the classics. Even if they just took all the old classics, basically put a paint of 2016, 2017 graphics code on it, and basically release the games as the same stages but basically prettier. It's a different game at the end of the day, whether it's $5 or $10. I told him, I was just like, "Hey, this isn't the most important game coming out next year. Sonic Project 2017 is the game. It most likely is. We already know it's not going to be full price. The collector's edition is $70, and it comes with a statue, a ring, etc., etc. It comes with all this different stuff. We know this game is probably going to be about $25, $30, $40 at most. Like, come on, pick up the game, as a fan. Just saying, wait till it's cheaper, pirate it if you have to. It's not going to be the best game on the world, but, if you don't like the classic games, you don't have to like the game. Just don't go and say the game is going to be trash. That's an issue with our community. We want the games to be bad, so we can say, "Ha, I told you so," to the other fans who, like the opposite, like basically like what you don't like. People just want the games to get bad at this point. Well, this has been your man Shadicstick. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Make sure check out any other videos. I'll have a card in the right hand corner during the my outros from now on. I've been forgetting to add the cards, but remember, I'll be adding that in the future. This has been your man Shadicstick, and have a good one. Peace. Kiss, kiss.
This time we'll have to join forces.
I think it's still going to be a hard game to play nonetheless, even when you're holding it, because like they make you hold it because you have to be concentrated on the directional buttons to switch weapons up and everything like that. And I don't know, it feels good when I play it, and I have no complaints.